Hi, how's it going? Thank you so much for clicking on my channel. My name is Catie Brandon, and this is Tea Time True Crime with Catie. Hi, I totally missed you guys. It has been quite a while since I put up a video. There is no announcements this week because I just want to tell you what's been going on. If you want to fast forward to the story, definitely do that. I'll have the timestamp at the actual screen. Okay, so I haven't done a podcast in almost a few weeks because so much has changed recently. I think the last time you heard I was going out of town and I went on this amazing business trip, conference, convention, whatever you may call it, and my life completely changed. I'm very inspired. I want to do very well with my business, and I also want to have amazing business partners with me. So if you don't know, I'm a financial coach and I work in financial services where I help many families with financial planning, getting out of debt, saving for retirement. Yes, even looking over auto, home, life insurance, to see what you're actually paying for. So I actually do complimentary readings of policies. Yes, I do. I know other agents charge, but honestly, I just want to let hopefully a potential client know exactly what they're paying for. And of course, I want to treat them how I want to be treated. Okay? So I had an amazing time, met amazing people. I listened to leaders, all kinds of leaders from all walks of life that made me feel motivated in what I'm doing and knowing that I'm doing the right thing. Now, unfortunately, though, when I got back home, I got violently ill. And it was the sickest I've ever been, I think, ever. And since I was like a child, maybe? I don't know. I mean, I had the neurovirus like in 2008, 2009, and I had like for 5 days and I thought I was going to die. It's awful too. It's that horrible illness where if it's on a cruise ship and someone has it, they turn the cruise ship back around because that's how contagious it is. Yeah, so that's not good. But what I had is something that is going around now. It is like the Sophia strain of something. I don't know if it's like a COVID or something, but it was called Sophia. Yeah, I usually love that name. It's a beautiful, sophisticated Italian name, but now that name's means something different to me. And my advice is I'm not going to tell you to vaccinate. I'm not going to tell you to not vaccinate because I'm here on this channel to be non-political and non-biased. Okay? I want to give you the facts. But if you want my advice to stay well during this sickness that's going around, load up on vitamin C. There are gummies. There's like zinc gummies with vitamin C in it. I think it's Zicam. I love Zicam. It's the best. Start loading up on that. Take it every day. Make sure you get enough sleep. Because when I was out of town, I was not taking care of myself. I ate very well, which I know that's a plus, but I did not sleep right. I did not take my vitamins. And I was around a whole bunch of people, probably like 200,000 people or more. So, yeah, my advice is load up on vitamin C. Definitely. Yes. So, this story, you guys, first of all, those who reached out to me and messaged me, I got them. And if I haven't replied to you back, please know that I will soon. Or if I didn't get your message, please let me know as well. Send me another email. I'm saying thank you so much for coming on my lives on TikTok. And if you haven't come on my lives yet, no worries. I'm live almost every night. So definitely follow at Pale and Sweet on TikTok, where I mostly do astrology videos. And I also do podcasts, little snippets and stuff like that. But on my lives, I just have a venting session for people to say what's on their mind. I am no way, shape, or form a doctor or a professional, but I am someone who cares about you. Absolutely. And I feel that if you have some kind of outlet, voicing your frustrations or voicing your trauma that you're even scared to talk about anyone with, just saying it out loud is the first step into healing. And I feel that is very, very important. I do take therapy very well, meaning like I do take it seriously. Me, myself, I haven't gone to therapy in a very, very long time, but I do recommend it if that's what you want to do. But if you don't want to go that route and pay that money, just go on TikTok Live, shoot me a message, be positive vibes in the chat. That's all I ask. No bullying, no name calling, like, please. It's a good vibe. And just, write down what's on your mind, or I'll put you like in the little box and you can voice out your frustration. You don't have to show your face or anything like that. It's whatever is comfortable to you, because I believe if someone who doesn't even know you shows that they care about you, we're in the step in the right direction of making this world a better place. So yeah, follow me on TikTok, follow me on Instagram, all the socials. Please know I care about you, and let's get on to the story. Now, this crime is very, very well known, but it has been stuck in my head for days. And there has been signs from like the universe to actually talk about this. So this is a trigger warning because this is a very upsetting story. There is a survivor, though. There is. And, by this person surviving is why we got the killers, which is awesome. But what's not awesome is, the crime, which crime is never a good time. So, yes, enjoy the title page, sending you all the good energy before this podcast. Don't have to tell me twice. Thank you for watching my title page. I like to show my fur babies, and it's just good vibes. So I'm going to be talking about, in quotes, a family had to die because a teen said so, end quote. I'm going to be talking about Erin Caffey. Now, if you have been listening to my podcast, I do not like to give notoriety to killers. I do not. But unfortunately, she is in this story because she is such a controversial figure, because they don't know if she was under the influence. They don't know if the boyfriend is lying. Yeah, so I'm going to bring you back. I'm going to bring you back to July 27th, 1991. July 27th, 1991, which is in a few days from now, which is really creepy. That was when Erin Caffey was born. Erin, as you know, is a Leo. Erin grew up in the church. Her father, Terry, pastor. Her mother, Penny. She had two brothers, Matthew, 13 years old, and Tyler, 8 years old, during this horrific crime. The crime took place March 1st, 2008. Now, when Erin grew up, she was said to be very sociable, funny, but also very naive, perhaps a bit sheltered. Since being raised in the church, her father and the mother are just like their lives were just, gospels, sermons, and they want to be good people and follow, the faith of God. Now, I believe they were raised like Southern Baptists, so they were really hardcore about their beliefs. Before I go any further, this podcast does not make fun of any type of religion or institution. I'm just stating the facts that I've researched and read, and where you can find other podcasts as well, even news spots. Yes, she was on Dr. Phil in 2000 and years after the murders. Yeah. So I'm going to stop teasing you and I'll just keep on going. So Erin, like I said, was raised in the church, and she was blessed with a beautiful singing voice. Yes, they said she had this voice of like a songbird. Beautiful. She would put people in the church to tears with her gorgeous voice. Yes, stunning. As I said, she was born kind of in the shelter. She did go to public school for a while, but then she was also homeschooled as well. Homeschooling didn't really work out for the Caffey family because the sons, Matthew and Tyler, already made friends in school. So they didn't want to be homeschooled anymore. And the parents did love their children, that I will say. And they took their kids out of homeschooling and went into public school. Now, with Erin being very, sheltered, she also was very antisocial. It's very odd how, like, I kind of looked at her behavioral analysis. A lot of people would think she had narcissistic personality disorder, especially the crimes that happened. Or she just was extremely sheltered and naive and she fell in love with the wrong guy. Again, there is not 100% correct answers here. And that's what I want to know, what you guys think. So, Erin Caffey, like I said, sweet girl, she was loved in her small town of Alba, Texas. And when I say small town, I read 500 people are in Alba, Texas. It's on the east side of, they said like 45 minutes away from Tyler. I know. And Tyler, sadly, was her brother's name. Now, Terry was very big into the church, which you get that. He's a pastor, and he's really big on God's love and beliefs. Now, you're probably wondering, well, Catie, why did they start homeschooling? Well, you would think because of the bullying, which I'm sure there's bullying everywhere, but the main thing was, this is random, but there was a girl in school who had a little crush on Erin and kissed her in the hallway. Well, the family believed, and this type of religion did not believe in bisexuality. And they took her right out of school. But like I said, that was short-lived, and she went back to school. So me telling you this shows the strictness of her upbringing. Yes, no bisexuality, no gay. She had to say her prayers, go to church, I believe, 2 to 3 times a week. Her family held a very close eye on her. Now, it wasn't so close where she was, I don't know, like locked up in a cellar for many years. Not like that. But it was very restrictive as, they had rules. She had to get good grades. She went to work, and then after work, she had to go home, do her homework. Well, all of a sudden, in 2007, there was this kid, I shall say, not really a kid. He was 18 years old at the time, and his name is Charlie Wilkinson. Charlie Wilkinson met Erin while she was working at Sonic, being a car hop, and she was immediately smitten by him. He wore black cowboy hat, Wrangler jeans, and cowboy boots. I feel like that's the area. I feel like that is what is being worn. And he came off as some kind of Southern gentleman. One thing that people did not realize was how psychotic and how psychopathic tendencies that he actually had. Now, he was kind of popular in school. In fact, he played with the police officers' own sons. They went fishing and hung out together. So Charlie had a pretty good name, actually. He was known not to hurt a fly, but he was also known to be hot-headed. So he got very easily angry. Yes. Well, when he started dating Erin, Erin started to change. He would go to church with her and support in her endeavors, but then after church they were found, PDA, they weren't even hiding it. He went under the shirt. Let me know what base is that. Is that second or third base? So, he was being a typical teenage boy, and they were becoming very, very infatuated with one another. Now, you would think it was just puppy love. She's 16 and she thinks her whole world is this guy. But what she doesn't know is that, just because, she loves this guy and they would do anything to be together, she really didn't understand, what she talked about to him would sadly come true. Yeah. Or she did know what she was talking about and she picked the right guy this time. Charlie was very disrespectful to Terry, which is Erin's father. Now, when they first met, because, Erin's really excited. This is her first love, and if you guys don't know, first love is extremely powerful. It can make or break you, and it would definitely mold you to the person that you are today. You could have, if you didn't marry him, then you know that you broke up. So teenage love is a very potent, emotional thing to happen to any teenager. I mean, think about it. I would never want to be 16 again. No, thank you. You have your hormones, you have your emotions, you don't know what the heck is going on in the world, but yet you know it all. Yeah, we don't want to go back there. I don't think anybody does. I get hiccups randomly when I get nervous. Because this is a really, really sad case. So Erin started basically just, well, Mom, I love him. Dad, I love him. And the parents were like, what? You're 16? He's 18? What are you talking about? So after they were caught doing PDA and being all over each other, being with each other day and night, like I said, it's young teenage love, the parents put some rules down. Charlie was not allowed to be in the house after 9 p.m. on a school day. And if they want to talk on the phone, her curfew was after 10 p.m. Well, if you guys haven't guessed it, the rules were broken. The father was very upset, so he limited her time with Charlie to once a week. Yeah, and that was detrimental. Things were getting very serious, very quickly. And I believe Erin got a little scared. Now, I don't like to talk about anybody's sex life, especially of a teenage child. It's very weird. But she apparently had relations that was more than under the shirt around Christmas in 2007, that time. And it was quite serious because then, after that happened, Charlie gave Erin a promise ring. And the ring was actually, I believe, his grandmother's ring. So yeah, things are getting pretty serious. Now, Charlie would do anything for her. And he actually wanted to get her pregnant because he's like, if I get you pregnant and you have my baby, then your parents will take me seriously. Well, Erin, weirdly, had enough gumption to be like, no, I'm too young to have a baby. She's too young to have a baby at 16 years old, which, yeah, fair. But the plan that came about, the horrificness that came about, that came first before teen pregnancy. I don't understand that. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to wheeled you guys in a little bit because it's a bit much. Well, if you're wondering, well, did the parents notice the ring? Of course they did. Penny, her mom, is like, you give that ring back. You give that ring right back. She's 16. This guy's 18. She wants to be out of the house by 18. I don't know why she just didn't wait or run away from home. Again, I don't know. But I wished it did. Sorry about that earlier, you guys. I tried to turn off my notifications, but I missed one, so my apologies. I'm going to take you back, or bring you, tragically, to March 1st, 2008. Then I'm going to bring you back again. Okay. February. I found this out, and this gave me the literal chills. Remember when I told you that the parents are, of the church, and Terry's a pastor and everything? Well, Penny was very sociable. Like, this family was extremely loved in this small community. So when this happened to this family, it massacred, like, a whole, I would say, the nation. They were absolutely just shocked, and just to this day, they have so many questions, and they want to know exactly what went wrong. But what I'm getting at is the mother is sociable, and she's very involved with the church, okay? February 2008, there is this big retreat that she looks forward to every year. Now, when the retreat is coming again, like, when it's coming back around for the church, and everyone's like, oh, are you going? I'm so excited to see you there, Penny. She literally decides not to go. And she says an eerie thing that, like, she says something so eerie to me. I'm just like, what? She basically was like, no, I want to stay with my family. One of the church members, or one of the neighbors, I also read that a month before, it just didn't seem right in the Caffey household, or in that area for that matter. Not only that Penny did not want to go to the retreat, but something was off. Even like the small town knew it. They knew something spiritually was off. Especially when Erin came to church like usual, they noticed a change. They noticed something changing about her. I know, guys, it's so eerie. Especially after watching Longlegs. Oh my God. Did you guys watch that? I'm going to put a spoiler alert YouTube channel description in my box, because there's some people that really don't want to watch it and they want to know why it's scary. So it explains spoilers of the movie, but also explains things you didn't know. And I'm telling you, I'm older, so it didn't really like scare me, but it was very deeply unsettling and disturbing. But I will say it does have religious kind of like atmosphere about the movie. So when I was researching Erin Caffey, that had a lot of religious about, how she grew up and like the crime scene. It was just like very, very eerie, especially like a month before, because this wasn't a crime of passion that I'm about to talk about. This was planned. This was premeditated. Yeah. But you let me know. You let me know if she actually knew, or I want my parents gone, I want my family gone, but was she joking? Except this time she joked with the wrong person. All right, I'm going to bring you to that night, okay? So trigger warning. This is very upsetting. March 1st, 2008. It is just a clear night. Everything seems to well. Penny goes to bed with her husband, Terry, and they sleep soundly. And all is right in the world. They didn't think anything was going on. Their two little sons, Tyler and Matthew, are sleeping, as well as their daughter, Erin. And then all of a sudden, around 1:30 a.m., two men come bursting in the door with rifles. And they just start shooting. Terry was shot 5 times, and the mother was shot as well. Now, the father was in and out of consciousness. What happens next is out of a horror movie. The two boys were teenage boys. You got Charlie Wilkinson, yes, Erin's boyfriend, and his best friend, Charlie Wade, but I'm going to call him Wade. So yeah, no confusion, because I was confused for a while. I'm like, how many Charlies? Did he like put himself in two places at once? No, it's just two different horrible assailants. Not only they had two guns, you guys, they also had two samurai swords. Yes. Now, during this time, there is screaming going on, okay? And the father says he hears his 13-year-old son, Matthew, which was lovingly called Bubba. Bubba was screaming, "Why are you doing this?" Yeah. I know. I can't imagine. Why are you doing this, Charlie? When the father was going in and out of consciousness, Terry saw the shooter, and he knew it was Charlie, but he was thinking to himself, there's no way, until he heard his son say that. And then he knew he would do whatever it took to survive. So Matthew is trying to defend his little brother, Tyler, because by then, Matthew, when all this horrificness is going on, Matthew grabs his little 8-year-old brother, Tyler, and they're very, very scared. And they lock themselves in some kind of closet in, I believe, Erin's room, which is a sick irony. Now, the boys looked over the house to try to find them. Like I said, guys, nightmare fuel. Poor Matthew. They opened the door and they found him in the corner. Matthew did what he could to fight back to save his little 8-year-old brother. But he didn't. Wade got a gun and shot Matthew in the face. The little boy is so scared and so stunned that he goes back in the closet and he's scared. Now, Charlie apparently was fine with killing the parents because he thought they were awful people. He thought they were ruining Erin's life. The whole thing where they just have to die. Like, there's no rhyme or reason. The parents have to die. But Charlie did say that he did not want to kill the kids. But Wade was like, there cannot be there cannot be any witnesses. Which, at the same time, to kill children is just a level of sick and evil that I could never comprehend. And yes, little Tyler, who was probably begging for his life and crying, didn't know what was going on, he was eventually stabbed with the samurai swords. Wade did most of the stabbing with the sword, but Charlie did stab little Tyler once. Afterwards, they go back into the bedroom to make sure everyone is dead. He sees Penny, who was shot, and Terry said that she was gone because he tried to not wake her up, but he was looking to make sure that, hey, we need to escape right now, get out of the house, get help. But he said by looking at his wife in the bed, she was already gone. But the boys, they took the samurai swords and they started stabbing at the mom. And they started stabbing at her neck, and she was almost decapitated. And they look over and they see blood everywhere, and they really think that Terry is dead. Afterwards, I don't know if they got Erin out already, because like I said, guys, the timelines are very wonky with Erin. So let's just say that Erin is out, because at this time, after all these horrific murders happened, the boys start getting blankets and comforters and getting their little lighters and lighting them on fire and light the house on fire. The driver, Bobby Johnson, which was Wade's girlfriend at the time, she was not involved inside the horrificness of what happened, but she was the driver. She was there because she loved Wade and she wanted to be a loyal girlfriend, I guess. Yeah, whatever. But that's what she did. Erin was there in the car. She ran in the car and basically she went in there and the boys got in the car and they went to a nearby trailer, which was Wade's older brother trailer. Yeah. Now, while that is happening, Terry is trying to get out of a burning house. Let me tell you how insane this guy's inspiration and his perseverance is. Terry is not only shot, he's shot 5 times. Okay? So he crawls out of a window from a bathroom, gets out of the house, crawls to the nearby neighbors, and I read he crossed a creek. Yeah, he swam through a creek to the nearest neighbor, Tommy, to finally get some help. Terry thought in interviews that if he didn't survive, then his family would never have justice. So that's why he did whatever he could to survive. And yeah, those kids did not count on that night. When the police arrived, Terry knew immediately who shot him, and that was Charlie Wilkinson. And when the police were called, or the ambulance, Terry did say that Charlie Wilkinson did it. And the police were pretty shocked because they put their head down because everybody knew Charlie. Like I said, this was a very small town. This was very devastating to these people about what happened. So they go and try to find Charlie. Now, on the way, they saw Charlie's car by the trailer. And so the police go to the trailer and they go in and they see Bobby Johnson and Wade. And they're asking, where is Charlie Wilkinson? Oh my gosh, you guys. So they go throughout the trailer and, or the mobile home, okay? No offense to anybody, to the mobile home. And they lift up some kind of curtain or some kind of drape. And Charlie is there sleeping with a gun right by him. He is only wearing a pair of jeans. Now the police tell him, where were you? And all this, interrogating him. And Charlie said he was hanging out with friends, got drunk, and then went back home. But as soon as they were taking him into questioning, you guys, when they turned the light on, there was blood spatter on his cowboy boots. So when he was changing to put on boots, well, he couldn't really change. They were kind of grabbing him to take him to questioning, but he had to get clothing. So the officers went inside to grab the pieces of clothing, and the nearest thing was like a shirt and cowboy boots, but there was blood on the cowboy boots. So already his goose is cooked. His goose is cooked because Terry recognized him, but now there's a whole bunch of DNA blood evidence on his clothing. By the time the firefighters were fighting this horrible inferno, not even ready to get the bodies out yet because the fire was so insane, it burnt all the way down. They did retrieve the bodies, sadly, but the house was no longer more. It was to nothing, to soot, how hot this fire burned. When the police were still searching the mobile home, they noticed something in the corner, and they see some blonde hair, and they thought it was some kind of doll, until one of the investigators grabbed the hair and realized At that time, they didn't know, but it was a small blonde girl, 4'11", very small stature, and she looked kind of disoriented. And they asked her, "Who are you? What's your name?" And they said she was Erin. Now, the police are immediately feeling absolutely sorry for this young girl because they knew what happened to her family by this time, and they really felt sorry for Erin. Right now, it looks like Erin has been kidnapped. She was drugged, and she was found in like a fetal position. So the police are just trying to, give her the care she needs until they realize what her true intentions were. Yeah, she wasn't the one who was dragged and drugged. In fact, when they did a drug screening, this is what I don't understand. When they did a screening of her health, she did not have smoke in her lungs because she said she wasn't in the house during the killings. She didn't have smoke in her lungs. And the second thing was there was no drugs in her system. And the only drug I can say was in the teenage boy's system, which is not really a drug, but it kind of is. Well, technically it's poison, is alcohol. Yeah. The only thing that was in these kids' system was alcohol to carry out these horrific crimes. Before the cat was out of the bag, like I said, Erin was found disoriented, and she told the police that she remembered two men with swords, and she remembered a fire, and also that she was given a drink, and after she was given the drink, that she blacked out. While Terry is in the hospital, he talks to the police, and Terry says that this was a revenge killing. He said him and his wife wouldn't let her see Charlie anymore. Charlie actually said he didn't kill the family for revenge. He said he killed them because Erin asked him to. In the beginning, Charlie wouldn't say who was with him during the killings until he finally cracked after hours of questioning, and that's when he finally told them that his friend, Wade, was involved. Erin and Charlie were allegedly going to give Wade $2,000 to carry out this massacre. Bobby Johnson, the girl in the car that I told you about earlier, like I said, didn't know the plan, but she wanted to tag along. Why? I do not know. Apparently to be a loyal girlfriend. I do not know. As soon as they arrived at the house, their dog started barking. So the family had a dog. Caffey's. They actually had a cute dog, but it was barking and barking and barking. By this time, the boys are getting freaked. Now, this is their testimony, because like I said, guys, nothing is set in stone. It's like his word against hers kind of thing, even though Bobby Johnson and Wade actually said and corroborated Charlie's story. But Erin said this didn't happen. So what didn't happen apparently was the dog was barking and they got spooked and they left. Well, Erin kept calling Charlie and saying, "Come on, get this done. I'm going to quiet the dog. I got the dog. Come back. Get this done." And she called a total of like 13 times. She says that when she was calling, she was actually telling him not to do it. Abort mission. Do not do this. She claims that they were breaking up, and the parents did know that things were getting very serious with Charlie and Erin, that I think it just got too hot and heavy, and I think it got too extreme. So she broke up with him, and she thinks that because she broke up with him, he went and killed her whole family. So you see the different kind of, circumstances we have here, guys? I know. I don't know. Remember when I told you when the dog was barking? When they all left, they actually went to a cemetery for an hour and tried to talk Erin out of what they were going to do. Allegedly. They even said, Erin, why don't you run away? And she did not run away. She thought that the parents would be, it would be so much better if they weren't on this earth anymore. That is such, that is so extreme. Like, those are your parents. Like, yes, they were strict on you, but they fed and clothed you and supported you. And, yes, they gave her a religious, strict upbringing, which, I'm not all for, but I don't think that, is a reason for murder, especially a massacre. But her family did love her. Like, Charlie says that she planned this, like, months ahead. And that I can't wrap my head around because you ate at the dinner table. You came home every day from work. Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. How you doing? And all the while, you're planning their deaths? I don't know, guys. That is just that is a type of evil or maybe that didn't happen. Like I said, guys, these kids are saying different things that happened. So it's kind of like these 3 kids against Erin. Like, is Erin really the innocent one? Or is she just really crazy manipulative that she got her boyfriend to kill her family? Charlie does have remorse for this crime. But the way he said it was that it just had to be done. He was very upset that the children had to die, which, yeah, it's upsetting. Like, why did they have to die? They're, like, so innocent. But apparently she didn't want them in a foster home. Wow, how thoughtful. What? Yeah. Charlie had a hard time actually murdering Tyler, and it really haunted him. Fucking good. I hope it all fucking haunts you, okay? Sorry, I just can't imagine. Like, I just don't understand the sickness of doing that to a family. You were in their home. They fed you food. You were there during occasions. You were in his church doing sermons. And you obliterated his family. Like, that's why, like, after watching Longlegs, guys, and the religious thing, I'm just like, is this kind of like, I'm spoiler alert, I apologize, but is this some kind of, like, devil worshipping thing? I know I don't like to say that, but, like, seriously, this is just doesn't make sense. Like, I get it. You're the bad boy. You fall in love with the church girl. But the way these murders were, like, carried out is so insane to me. Especially with the samurai swords. Like, where you think you're playing a video game. I don't understand it. I don't get it. I just can't imagine. Like, even in, like, the afterlife, when I talk about this, I give nothing but good vibes and respect, but it still happened. It's still sad, and it's still dark. That gave me comfort, though, when Charlie, bawled his eyes out and really regretted what he'd done, and it haunts him, and I'm just like, what do you think was going to happen? Think it was going to be easy? Like, I don't get that. Now, if you're wondering, well, Catie, why do you say it's premeditated? This is going to be the mic drop right here. Remember when I told you the kids were leaving and going to the car to escape? Well, not only that there was actual evidence, there was a used condom in the trailer. Apparently, Charlie and Erin had sexual relations after the murder of her family. Ugh. That's not even the worst part. I mean, no, that's pretty bad. But another part that really seals her fate, which people are just like, lock her up and throw away the key, is that after these murders were taking place, they went into the lockbox and, like I said, took money from the dad, from the box. They thought there was going to be $2,000, but there was only about $400. And then before they lit the whole place on fire, they got Erin's suitcase and wheeled it out of the house. Bitch, you had a suitcase? What? So yeah, that screams premeditation. That screams that she just wanted all of them to die. Do I think she regrets it now? Oh, absolutely. I think she misses her family. Or maybe she doesn't. Maybe she just wanted to be the only one in the family. I mean, Leo Queen energy, I don't know. Even though my sister's a Leo and I have great friends who are Leos, I would never put them in the same category. Sorry that she gave you guys a bad name. But it's awful. Especially when Terry was so happy to know that his daughter was okay. But then when he found out she had something to do with it, he just lost it. He honestly couldn't handle it. He was in the hospital for about a week, and he was injured from the gunshots with broken cheekbones, broken nose, and nerve damage in his right arm. So he couldn't handle it. You had the medical professionals say, okay, Terry, it's time to go home. But Terry's like, what home? What home do I have? I have nothing. I have no wife. I have no 2 little boys. And my daughter, I don't know where she's at. It hit him really, really hard. And it hit him so hard, I don't know, in a way where he actually began to forgive. I know he's a pastor and everything, but you gotta be one strong guy to forgive your daughter for killing your whole family. Even though he says she wasn't the conspirator, she said something she didn't mean, and Charlie took it seriously. But I'm sorry, Terry, she planned it, man, over a month. In fact, the only people who are to blame in this case, and I'm sure they feel guilty enough, which that means a tea break, okay? I have my favorite cup ever. It's my Sundance Film Festival from 2011. I know you heard me say this before, but this is my pride and joy mug. It has a snowflake on it and, lip marks because, I love my lipstick. I am drinking green tea with lemon with honey. Yes, it's amazing. Sundance actually won a trip. I worked at Movie Stop back in early 2000s, and I sold the most Directors Club cards. And Entertainment Weekly took me, my manager, and a few other people to Utah, Park City, where we actually see Sundance films in person, and it was one of the best times of my whole life. So yes, I have a mug. I actually bought 2 mugs because I wanted to commemorate that. So that brings me so much joy. Okay. So, like I said, Terry forgave. Terry actually went to the courts because they were going to put these kids on death row because the crime was so brutal. And this is Texas. And I don't know if you know, but you don't mess with Texas, okay? They don't mess around with the capital punishment and the jail time. Yeah, not going to say my belief about that, but it's true. So he actually wrote a letter and talked to the judge and pretty much begged for their lives to be saved and said that they should get life in prison so they can repent for what they've done. And he says, I have to forgive or I will just turn into this bitter, grumpy man and I can't help people. And he just didn't want to be like that. I know. Right? I know ADD's real. So when I said who is to blame, you guys, the friends. Not the friends involved in the killing, but the friends who actually heard her say, I want to kill my parents. Or something horrible. And no one took her seriously. Nobody. Bobby Johnson, I know she was just the lookout, or I don't even know, or just the driver, what have you. But when you hear screaming or crashing or something's going wrong, you call the police. You could have saved their lives. So maybe they actually did get the worst punishment of all, is that they're haunted. These teenagers are haunted for what they've done, and they all blame it on Erin. They all say that she manipulated them and she got what she wanted, which was her parents gone and her brothers. And you're probably wondering, well, Catie, why would she want her brothers gone? Erin was, in a way, a typical teenager that her brothers were kind of annoying. And they were picking on her and being little baby brothers, And she thought they had to die. And she didn't want them to go into foster care. So Charlie and Wade, I believe there is some remorse. Charlie has way more remorse because, like I said, he grew up as a nice gentleman, a Southern gentleman that was loved in the community and was just completely manipulated by somebody. Or was he mad that Erin broke up with him and he killed the whole family? I don't know. It's possible. With all the research I've done, it is so possible. I don't know what I believe, guys. I'm just showing you and telling you what could have happened and why. Bobby Johnson, the loyal girlfriend, she was sentenced to 40 years in prison. Yeah. A previous boyfriend said that she actually wanted her parents dead, and he said, I thought she was crazy. So he testified against Erin. So yeah, that was kind of the nail in the coffin there. There was a lot of evidence against her, but I think that kind of sealed it. Years later, Terry eventually remarried and actually had a child, and him and his new wife adopted 3 children. Terry started the Forgiveness Project, and he wrote a book called Terror by Night. A book actually all about this awful Texas murder. Yeah. That is the horrible story of Erin Caffey. I'm going to link some links below. There was a portion of Piers Morgan, however you say it, and he did an interview with her. And then there's an interview with Dr. Phil. Now, one thing I will say is that these 2 interviews gave me different vibes. And I also will link in the description below the behavioral panel, where they actually took the Dr. Phil video where you had all these behavior analysis and to say, is she a true psychopath? It's very, very interested. Very interesting. See, I get tongue-tied when I talk about horrific things. What do you guys think below? Do you think that the pastor being so religious pushed the daughter into something more evil? And when she had something in her head, Maybe there was devil worshiping involved and there was some kind of weird possession that took over her, because right now she's given like Charles Manson vibes. Or, second thing, did she break a bad boy's heart and for revenge he murdered her whole family? Or third, she has got to be the most cunning, manipulative woman that we have seen like never. I'm serious. Like the medical journals, the behavioralists, the doctors, they said, do you have any idea how rare it is to have a psychopathic teenage girl become a family annihilator? I don't know. Thank you very much for watching. I really, really appreciate you. Please know that you are loved and you are cherished. And remember, you are doing better than you think. Bye, guys.